Chest day again. I know I missed the last few days of uploading. I've had the craziest week. I've had so many projects due for uni on the same day, and I climbed Mount Snowdon. That was pretty fun. I'm doing the 3 Peaks Challenge soon for charity. I'll talk a lot more about that as it gets closer to it, but that was training for that. And just a very, very busy few days, so I do apologise for not. I know I get like 5 times in the last 2 months I've said I'm going to get like regular uploads, but my university is done now. I've got exams in a few weeks, but it's I'm not in uni, you know, in lectures, so I'm gonna have a lot more time to be uploading, to get on it. It is like a million degrees today. I'm already sweating. I'm not even in there yet in the car. This is not like UK at all. I know what you're saying. Yeah, of course you're sweating, you're wearing a massive sweatshirt. I'm aware, but if I have to choose between sweating or looking small for the first half of my workout, I'd rather sweat. So let's just put it that way. Maybe I'll take it off in a minute when it gets a bit too bad, but I mean, it can't just be me who, like, just me working out in a t-shirt. So like, I mean, I'll do it, like I'll still smash a session, but I'd rather just not see what I look like until the very end, and then just, you know, do a crazy pump reveal and be like, oh yeah, wow, like I look good. But I just don't want to be distracted by how I look. Like, even if I do look good in a t-shirt, I don't want to be distracted by like, oh wow, a new vein's come in today, you know what I mean? Like, oh shit, I'm middle of a set, let's, you know, refocus. I don't want that to happen, you know. I'd rather just stay covered up and wait till the end. Might just be me, maybe. Sometimes I do wear a vest. I'm not like, you know, a nun. I do wear a vest every now and again, and I'll have a good session, but most sessions I do like to just go in there, focus, get everything done, and then, you know, do a little fun thing at the end. But today is chest and shoulders. Can't remember if I said that at the start. One of my favourite days, probably the best day, to be honest. Let's be real. It's just loads of pressing, good pumps, feel big, feel, you know, wide, and yeah, move a lot of weight. So I'm going to get in there, do incline dumbbells first. It's been a staple for a long time, that for me. It's a great exercise, amazing exercise actually, probably one of the best ones you can do for chest. It's just, the stimulus is crazy, you can recover from it well, you can move some good weight, and it's fun too. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's some amazing exercises out there, some ones that I do, but I don't like wake up and look forward to them, you know what I mean? They're just like, yeah, it's good, I'll try hard, I'll progress with them, but I don't like think about them. Whereas like incline dumbbell bench is like, yeah, I'm looking forward to that, you know, like that's a good thing to look forward to. So that's always a nice factor too, them like intangible factors that people don't talk about enough. They just talk about like the stretch relationship and, you know, all these things, which are very important obviously, but, you know, I'm here to have fun as well. I'm not like a Mr. Olympia at the end of the day. But yeah, enough yapping, I'm going to get in there now, move some weights, and hopefully it's not too busy. It is 4 o'clock on a Friday, but it's also super sunny, so hopefully everyone's at the beer gardens and not in the gym. But I guess we'll soon find out. Also hope I brought my mic, otherwise this video might end like right now, but we'll go see.
First set done. Felt good. Everything feels, you know, pretty recovered. Definitely didn't feel as strong as last week, but you know, you can't feel 100% every single time. Got the same reps as last week, regardless. So you know, even though it didn't feel as good, it was good. So that's, you know, that's what matters at the end of the day. One thing you'll notice when you go on a deficit into a cut or whatever you want to call it, your pumps might not feel as good. In fact, they most probably won't feel as good the longer you go into it. Obviously, if you're a week into a cut when your pumps feel terrible and your sessions feel terrible, you've done something wrong. You've took the calories back too much, or you've not, you know, your frequency is too much. Something's wrong. But obviously, if you're week 15 or 16 in the cut like me, chances are, even if you're doing everything perfect, you're not going to feel as good as when you're full of carbs, full of energy, you know, ready to go, full of calories, obviously it's going to take a hit, your training. Doesn't mean your training should be bad, just not as good as when you're peak bulk kind of thing. But yeah, anyway, first set done, all felt good. Make sure you warm up every time. I know I say this a lot, but a lot of new people watch these videos, and some people who heard me say it don't listen. So make sure you warm up, even if you're brand new to lifting, because the longer you do it for, the more likely you are to injure yourself. As you get stronger, proportional to your body weight, the weights are going to get heavier, and the chance of injury is going to increase. So you have to do a good warm up. Do a little bit of stretching, nothing crazy, just 2-3 minutes tops. Unless obviously you need more, do more. But as a minimum, 2-3 minutes. Do 2 to 3 warm up sets. Make sure everything's feeling good, blood flowing. Then go into your working sets when your mind and your body are right. Don't rush it, because it's better off doing 5 perfect working sets rather than 10 shitty, barely even working sets, whatever you want to call them, attempts at working sets. So keep that in mind. Just, be self-critical, be harsh on yourself, and make sure you're doing everything as best you possibly can. Even though it's not as fun to come in here and do a few warm sets, no one finds that fun. I promise you, it will pay off, and your working sets will feel better. So ultimately, it will be more fun. You'll have better sessions. But yeah. Anyway, nothing happened. On to the next set now. Going to try the same weight again, and hopefully get the same amount of reps I did last week. And because I say that, normally try and get more, but because I feel worse than I did last week. You know what? Let's just go for it. See what we get. First set of shoulder press done. I just want to say, focus on keeping everything tight. I see some people whose feet aren't even on the floor when they're pressing, they're in the air or whatever. Keep everything tight, keep everything controlled, brace your whole body. You want to just keep everything firm. It's hard to explain, but when you're pressing, don't just let the weight fall down and then sort of try and catch it, explode. But no, keep everything tight, controlled, and keep that power. And obviously it's harder to do when you're a lighter body weight, but that's not an excuse. You should do that even more then, because you're more likely to get injured. That's when it's even more important. But regardless, you should always be trying to keep strong, keep tight, not get injured, because the chances you getting injured, if you keep everything super controlled and no sudden movements, obviously you want to explode upwards, but I mean no dropping the weights and no flailing out and stuff. You're never going to get injured just controlling the weight. You always get injured when you do something wrong. When you say you slam a weight or pick something up too fast and don't brace, that's when you hurt yourself. So make sure you're not doing them things, because getting injured in bodybuilding is the worst thing ever. Obviously, it's not the end of the world. If you've been injured, or I've been injured, most people who are long-term bodybuilders have been injured. It's part of the game, but reducing that as much as possible is what's going to separate you from the rest. If you're just as good as someone else and they tear their tricep and they can't lift for 4 months, and then even after that feels weird, who's going to be the better bodybuilder? The person who could train or the person who can't train? You've got to, make sure you don't get injured. It's an important thing. On to the next set now. I matched the reps from last week on that. I nearly got another one. I was like halfway up, but just couldn't quite lock it out. So obviously we don't count half reps here. It's all or nothing. On to the next set now. I'm going to drop the weight by 5 kilos because I got 8 reps that set. I don't want to go too low reps in shoulder press. You can do nothing wrong with it. It's just for me personally, I like the sort of 8 to 12 rep range. It feels best for me, so that's what I'm going to stick with. Whatever you feel best with, experiment. Especially if you're new to the gym. Some people are new to the gym and they just do one thing and stick with it forever. And maybe that thing is the best thing, but maybe it's not. You don't know to try something else. So experiment a little bit, especially in neuron. Obviously, if you're 2 weeks out from a bodybuilding show, don't start messing with your training. But you know what I'm saying. Use your common sense. nearly done now. Onto my very last set. Everything felt pretty good today. Definitely not feeling as good as I was like 4 or 5 weeks ago. I can really start to feel the difference now. That's just the nature of cutting. It is what it is. I'm not like feeling bad. It's just I'm not quite that same oomph as when you're high on carbs, high calories. Yeah, I mean, still pushing, always pushing. I'm not going to use it as an excuse. I'm going to use it as fuel to train harder, push harder, and get more results. And at the end of the day, it's all for a reason. I'm not doing this for no reason. I'm doing this because I'm losing body fat. I'm looking better every session, learning more and more about how to cut, and that's going to come in a lot of use when I come to actually do a share. Well, just in life, I don't know if I will compete yet or not. I'm not sure if I'm, to the standard to be able to compete well. I don't know, but that's a conversation for another day. Anyway, these incline flies are feeling really good. Went a bit heavier on these ones. I was expecting to get a little bit more reps, but 7 reps is still a good set. Your muscles don't just start growing at 8 reps like some people think, or whatever reps people is trendy these days. I've seen a lot of people do 1 and 2 rep maxes on TikTok right now, like full body splits, and that probably will work. But I mean, the risk of injury, I'll do a whole other video on that kind of thing. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is the vast majority of rep ranges work. Unless you do 100 reps or 1 rep, you're pretty much sound. Just do what feels best for you. And 7 reps is great. Obviously, not ideal for me. I prefer the higher reps on this, but it still works. So I'll take the weight down a little bit and we'll bang out the last set. A little bit of posing, and that'll be all for today. Obviously, cardio, but you're not going to see that. That'll just be me suffering for that one on my own. So. Cardio is daily. If you haven't seen any of my videos, cardio is daily, 20 minutes Stairmaster. I've been doing that for 12 weeks now on Stairmaster. I was doing daily cardio for the last 4 or 5 months, but I ramp it up the intensity as you get longer into the cut. Because you don't want to start super intensity cardio, it's going to affect your recovery, and you just don't need it at the start of your cut. You can just take your calories down a little bit more, get the same effect, and keep your recovery. And keep your mental strength too. Trust me, cardio is not fun to do every single day. Hard cardio I'm talking about, not just 20-minute time walk. So the longer you can delay it, the better. But yeah, I think that's everything for today. So we'll cut on to the last set.